Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, how much you make, how hard you work, you still feel empty at the end of the day? How about your kids? What if there was a way to inspire them enough to pull their faces out of social media and use their time to make a difference in the world, to change lives or to save lives? And what if by doing so, you could double or even quintuple your income? According to Koenigs evolution study, 85% of consumers have a more positive image of a product or company when it supports a charity they care about. 80% of Americans are likely to switch brands to the one that supports a charity. Our next guest puts purpose behind big company profits, helping businesses grow by giving more. She's the founder of the Just Like My Child Foundation, author of 3 books, and happens to be my wife. Meet Vivian Glyck, a woman who the late Debbie Ford called the next Mother Teresa. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
This is so much fun. Thank you.
Well, we'll start by asking the question, which is the money question. That is, how is it possible for businesses to make more money by giving back? Because it's totally counterintuitive.
Yeah, it's completely counterintuitive, and I wouldn't have believed it unless I saw it. But I had some friends who really opened their heart to me and asked us to come on stage and to fundraise at their live events. My friends like Lisa Sasevich, JJ Virgin, Allison Maslin, of course you. And even though we raised hundreds of thousands of dollars, what all of the event hosts found was their revenue in the event actually doubled and even quadrupled.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I didn't believe it myself.
Right.
I know you prodded and you pushed me, and I thought, oh, it's going to interfere with my business. People are going to spend less. They're going to give more to the charity. And of course, it's going to trigger the fears that everyone else has. So with that in mind, the next question that you get asked all the time is, why Africa? Why did you start the Just Like My Child Foundation? And what was the seed that planted and created this great big tree?
Yeah. So what I like to say, and we like to say, is Just Like My Child Foundation was born out of a love story, out of the birth of our son, Zach, in 2002. And then I had back-to-back miscarriages. And I really didn't know what to do, what direction to go in. And I started to learn about what was happening in Africa and what was happening with children, which seemed completely amazing to me, that it wasn't headline news every night. And I thought, maybe instead of having one more kid, I want to have 10,000 more children. And it's just been an amazing journey. Well,
I will agree with that. It wasn't anything that I expected, especially when we first met. It was like it's been an adventure for sure. So that leads us to the next part, which is we live around a lot of power families. We live in La Jolla, California. We're in our 16th year of being there, and the feeling of emptiness. You deal with so many people who are very wealthy. They've got lots of power. The husbands or the wives, or both of them, are working like crazy, and they have no family life, and it often translates into the kids using or being on drugs, and it's also just heartbreaking to see the lost potential. So why don't you share the story of our son and how he got involved in the foundation and how he turned his mitzvah project into a great fundraiser?
Sure. Well, as you know, I was born and raised in New York City, and my parents are both Holocaust survivors. So I grew up around this feeling that we should never turn our back just because something isn't happening in front of us. And so it was really important for me when we had Zach was that he understands he's living in a bubble, and that there's a great big world out there that he can actually fill up his soul with and his thought process. And so when we decided to have him bar mitzvahed, he wanted to do this library project, and he was able to raise $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, and then we were able to go there even for the fourth time when he came with me in order to dedicate the library. And all of our donors who came with us brought dozens and dozens of books, and it was a miraculous experience to have the children fall in love with the books way more than you'd think our kids would. And for him to be able to see this and feel a part of it and to get the acknowledgement that he was able to make such a difference.
Yeah, it's definitely just instilling that. And since then, you've brought lots and lots of kids and families to Uganda. And the lives it changes, the reactions, the responses, it becomes a life-changing mission. Even kids who, or parents who bring their 8 or 9-year-old or 10-year-old kids there.
Yeah, well, we had the opportunity to go with Lisa Sasevich, and she brought her son, Elijah, together when we went with Zach the first time. And it was an incredible opportunity because what I always tell people is don't come to teach, come to learn, because our friends on the ground teach us so much. And Lisa brought soccer balls, and we met this little boy who had a soccer ball made out of banana leaves. It was all wrapped up, and in his one gift.
Yeah, it's either plastic bags or banana leaves.
It was banana leaves, I think. Maybe not, but I'll have to go back and look. And so he was just playing with his soccer ball, and Lisa brought out her brand new white ball, and they were playing with it together. And it was a moment of incredible connection for this little boy who just sees these big white kids, and it was such a great connection for them because they saw they were all the same. They just wanted to play.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, and you see that, the universal language of children is sports, and the universal language of adults is business.
Yeah.
I like to say it's the language of peace. And that brings us to, why don't you talk a little bit about when you spoke at the Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing Conference, because, you bring a certain level of energy and excitement. It's not just the fundraising part, but it's that sense of purpose that creates a movement within an organization. It gets everyone focused on the same thing. It's like having your sports team.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, my friend Lynn Twist, who wrote the book, The Soul of Money, says we're all dying to give. In fact, many of us are making a dying instead of a living. And so we work, we think that we're getting what we want, and we think that we're filling ourselves up, and yet we feel so empty. And so what we were able to do at the World's Greatest Women in Network Marketing event with Eric and Marina Worry, it was such a privilege, but they had 5,000 women there who were women who were just like me. They were moms, they were trying to run a business, and they really felt as though this connection with contributing to girls on the other side of the world was so powerful. And it was something that they could instill in their children as well. There were many kids who were there also. And so we brought our beads, we brought baskets, we give them in return for a donation. And I had a line of hundreds of women signing up to give. And I think it was a transformative experience for the entire event.
It was. And I can remember I was there with you. And when you made the opportunity to pledge, the lineup was incredible.
They went running.
There was a table rush, a genuine table rush for people to give money. And that's what everyone looks for. Again, this whole idea of creating an opportunity at an event it really trains the audience to begin the table rush as well. And again, that's not necessarily the intention, but everyone benefits from that. It creates that excitement. It creates that fire.
Yeah, and I think for Eric and Marina, they were able to really bring that heart and soul into the whole event. It was really
shifts the
beautiful.
Energy for every event, and that's really what you're looking for, is for everyone to get in their hearts. When they get in their hearts, again, surprisingly or unsurprisingly, the wallets open up as well, because they feel like they're part of something much bigger than themselves.
And there's no replacement for it in a business setting. You can be the best at what you do, but when you're the best, and you open up your heart and you show that you want to care for the community as well, you've made customers for life.
It's true. And that leads us to the next thing, which is another unexpected byproduct is, as a business owner, you're always looking for, how can I find a leg up? How can I find a way to connect with bigger influencers, bigger celebrities? And a natural byproduct of this is you start attracting celebrities that normally would have been completely unavailable or untouchable. So in the past year, you made it to the White House 3 times. in a year, and you met Michelle Obama, and we've got a little clip of something that she's going to say and talk about. We'll play right here.
All right.
The Just Like My Child Foundation will be helping 10,000 girls in Uganda stay in school by educating them about issues that lead girls to drop out, things like sexual violence, HIV, early pregnancy. Now, altogether, these commitments represent more than $20 million of investment in the lives of adolescent girls across the globe. I think we should give them all.
And that is impressive.
It was the most exciting moment of my life.
I remember you called me up. You're texting me as it's happening. I can't believe Michelle Obama's talking about me right now. But then on top of that, you had the Clinton Globally Initiative, who put you on stage and made a big deal out of you for 2 years. You have Academy Award-winning actress Viola Davis. At the last fundraiser the year before was Jada Pinkett Smith, who donated $50,000 of her own money, completely unexpected.
She was inspired.
It was amazing. And it's because you brought the girls into the room. You actually you Skyped in this whole group. How can you say no to that?
You can't.
No, you can't. And then Regina Hall, Deepak Chopra, a whole bunch of other ones. So what I think I want to bring this back to is how can companies incorporate something like what you've done? You know, you bring this energy, and how can they incorporate this into their business model if they're doing events and they want to make a difference?
Yeah, well, in my book, How to Change the World While You Work, that's what I talk about. How we do it, what the mechanics are. We've sort of created this system for that How to Change the World While You Work model, and how you can incorporate it and have different levels of giving, whether you're doing an online event, a live event, whether it's something that you want to tack onto your product sales. There are many, many different ways to do it, but the whole program is outlined in the book.
And that leads us to this part, which is you're giving away your #1 best-selling book, How to Change the World While You Work. And also your outline, you've got videos on there. You actually have the presentation from the Eric Worre and Marina Worre event, and a lot of other tools and resources. So where do they go to get them?
Okay, so they go to justlikeMyChild.org/book. And just give us your information, and we'll send you a link to download the book and also to watch those videos, and lots of other resources on that page as well.
All right. Well, thank you, honey.
Thank you.
Well, the next step is super easy. All you have to do is head on over to justlikeMyChild.org/book. Download Vivian's book. It's awesome, along with the tools. And at a minimum, it's an opportunity to just change the way you think about incorporating giving into your business. But more importantly, it's a way to give back and fund some incredible things, create more customer loyalty, a deeper connection, a heartfelt connection, and create a movement within your organization. It's something that everyone's looking for. Like Vivian said, Lynn Twist said, what is that great quote again that Lynn Twist said?
People are dying to give.
It's your opportunity to take part in something much bigger than yourselves and make a bigger difference, a bigger impact in the world. Thanks for watching.